So, guys, there are some extreme allegations right now from an insider that the creator of Dragon Age Velguard over at BioWare are discriminating against men at an extraordinary level. The company has been taken over by woke. There's some very sick things happening at the company, and they may not be around much longer. Today's video comes from Skizzle. We're going to just jump right in. His channel will be linked in the description because this stuff is absolutely mind-blowing.
So what's going on, toxic gamers? We gotta get into this situation immediately, man. The gamers are not stopping. This has started WW10 in the video games community, and after what just went down, I don't think you guys are ready, because one of the dev actually came out and he has leaked everything that is going down generally in the video game industry, but more so than that, what's going on with Dragon Age and at the BioWare. Like the video if you think there are 2 genders, dislike the video if you think there are 5,000 genders, Kaji. We're gonna get into the story. I don't think you guys are ready for this one. Fasten your seatbelts because, uh-oh, shout out to the homie Asmongold, roll it.
Are the numbers for Dragon Age right now good? In my opinion, no. So Dragon's Dogma 2 had a top peak of 228,000 people, and then it had a sales record of 3 million copies. So Dragon's Dogma was talking about all sales from PS5 and also from PC. So then you could assume that 70,000 is a little bit more than a third of that.
Again, we don't have the console numbers,
a little bit,
but we have Dragon's Dogma overall sales after 2 months and their peak Steam player numbers. Thus, we can infer what Dragon's Age sales could be.
That the amount of sales that you would have for Dragon Age right now would be in between 600,000 and 800,000 copies sold if you use Dragon's Dogma as a point of reference. 800,000 times 60, so that's the amount of money that they made, 48 million. So there we go. This is the amount of money that they're getting after Steam, $33 million. How much did it cost to make?
Can a brother get like 2 pennies or something like that? Damn.
The game. These are all going...
Yo, correction.
No, that statement was not good. The development cost of Dragon Age could be between 80 and 150 million dollars. I think that we can probably assume that as a AAA game that's had 10 years of development to it, at least $100 million.
Yeah, exactly. Like Concord comes to everybody's mind.
Now, guys, when I asked Copilot, which is basically powered by ChatGPT, what was the development cost for Dragon Age, it actually spit this out before then trying to backtrack. The development of Dragon Age the Velguard was quite extensive and costly. It's estimated that the game cost between $450 to $500 million to develop. The high cost is attributed to its lengthy development cycle, multiple reboots, and the involvement of numerous staff and contractors. Okay? Now, guys, that makes a lot more sense when you think about it. The culture at BioWare has become extremely toxic, and they fired a lot of the men who were working on the original games, and they replaced them by woke. So you have a bunch of people who don't really know how to write code. The game was in development for 10 years, roughly, and this sounds very similar to Concord, that we now know this game cost between $400 to $500 million to develop. It's a massive loss for Sony. And when it comes to Dragon Age, just the sheer scope of the game, the amount of resources that were put into it, and the allegations that are coming from this company, a game of this magnitude would naturally cost around $250 million to make. And that's typically with a good team of developers. So if they had multiple reboots to the project, they had to use multiple subcontracts, multiple contractors to fix the issue. In other words, when it did not work out, they had to go and find men who were experienced to go and fix these issues, because the people who were developing this game did not know what the heck they were doing. It likely did end up costing in the range of $450 to $500 million to make this game. And they've been getting this money from these investment firms like BlackRock. So they feel like they can do whatever they want. They've thrown the men out of the company, and now they have these degenerate people in there who are discussing their sex lives openly. It's absolutely disgusting what's going on. So we have to be very, very well aware of that. These are major allegations that men are being discriminated in the company. They are deliberately not hiring men, they are firing men, and they are harassing men in these companies. This is sick, but I mean, as guys, we're just kind of like, yeah, don't give them any money and walk away.
Right? It's probably coming to your mind as well. Those suckers spend $400 million, $400 million, 8 years, $400 million, and they couldn't even make 1 million back.
Was spent on this project.
Wait for
and
it.
This is, again, we are underselling the cost and we're overselling the sales. They are not even halfway towards making their money back. That's a really bad number.
Get woke, go broke. Shout out to the homie Smash JT. This is the main guys. Roll it.
I could confirm from that they were exactly who they claimed to be. And from that, we scheduled a phone call. A call that ended up...
Context, apparently a dev from BioWare reached out to Smash JT, and Smash JT is claiming that he's the dev that reached out. So yeah, but still take it as rumors though, you know what I mean?
Lasting nearly an hour long. He wanted to let me know about the situation going on at BioWare right now because he felt so helpless to fight back alone. And from what he told me about BioWare today, it paints a very dire picture of what's going on behind the scenes at the offices there. He claimed that the company is intentionally discriminating against men and selectively hiring individuals who parrot and embrace the specific ideology that the higher-ups are demanding. He personally reached out to me after watching my videos, and he emphasized the importance of speaking out against what he referred to as the woke virus that's run amok in these offices, infecting the entire game industry on the whole. He's been somebody who's worked in the industry for decades, and this is something that he's talking about, seeing it as a new frontier coming in and sweeping through every...
Oh, 100%. If he worked for the last 10 years, or he has been working for 10 years, yeah, absolutely. You go back 10 years, we didn't have crap like this, or at least it wasn't on this level. Right now it is like everywhere you look. I mean, damn, bro, damn, man, what the hell is going on in video games, right? Like crazy. All right, let's get back to it.
Everywhere, not just BioWare. Every company, the contacts he has, he communicates with other people like him in the industry, seeing this happen, and they're saying it's happening at many other...
Normal men is his t-shirt. They're probably gonna take offense to that too, brother. Yeah. Slow your rolls, papi. Tranquilo, papi.
Game companies right now, they're all suffering from the same issue. He told me that they're promoting liberal, white, typically trans, or at least queer, or at least on the LGBTQ plus ZYXA spectrum, women, and holding down everybody else, including even some gay men if they didn't go into the LGBT and go trans and make sure that they were part of the club. It depends on a few variables, but the greatest takeaway I had from it all was it's all based off of sexual identity. None of it has anything to do with the creativity of making a game. The insider disclosed that BioWare's corporate culture has become more woke than anyone could ever have possibly imagined, even seeing some of the stuff from Dragon Age the Veilguard. According to him, the identity politics at play within the company are more intense than any current level of public perception suggesting. And it's now reached a point where BioWare themselves is singularly focused on hiring based off of gender and ideological
There we go. There we go. And I mean, like, that sounds reasonable. That sounds true. After what we are seeing in this game, it's like, you know, they're actively doing that. They had surgery scars as well, right? You can be a liar, right? So they had surgery. They were promoting surgery scars. They are promoting surgery scars to kids. Like, hey, it is cool to do that and all that kind of bull squash. And if you have like mispronounced or whatever, or however you say it, you gotta, like, you're a bad person. And in this gameplay segment that we saw in the last video, that we covered in the last video, you're currently seeing, but for context, apparently in this gameplay scene, the chick actually, you know, mispronounced someone in the game, and then she's like, oh my bad, I'm sorry for misgendering you, I'm gonna go do 10 push-ups, to which people are saying those weren't even 10 push-ups, like she cheated when she did push-ups. Bruh. Right, so they are actually doing that, and people are calling this like trans simulator. You need to be trans in this game and all that. Like, I was seeing like Asmongold going crazy as well. People are going crazy as well on the YouTube. Like, everybody's like calling this out. Man, this situation is wilder than Diddy's situation. Guys, no Diddy though. No Diddy, man. Like, everybody's going off. The homie, yeah, the homie Tyron. The homie Tyron Magnus is going off as well, man. Like, what the hell is going on right now, man?
Compliance, like it's part of the test to get into the company for new people that they're hiring. And he even went into talking about how the current employees, his co-workers, ask questions and talk about openly at the office, LGBTQ, the gay stuff that they're into, and things they do when they close the bedroom door out in the open, like just there for people to talk about.
I think we can all admit and agree that if, our favorite guy does not win the election, we're in a night. No matter who wins, we all lose. But because, it's very much a band-aid for us to save our society, we would have to basically experience somewhat of a reboot, and there would be a lot of pain and suffering that would occur. For one, the value of the dollar is just not what it used to be. Telling countries that they have to use the dollar because, or else they are, we're going to cut them off, is a very bad idea. If we look at what's happened with countries who've, fallen the ear of the United States, they basically lose access to their funds instantly because the US controls the SWIFT payment system, so it can snatch away hundreds of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars from a company and bankrupt them instantly. And that's a very, very bad thing. That's the reason why BRICS is growing right now. There's some of you crazy people who are like, oh, BRICS is never going to happen. BRICS is accelerating, and many companies are joining it because they're saying they don't want the United States to have control of their money. We've seen that the US is more than willing to leverage the SWIFT system, which allows us to transfer money around the world. They are more than happy to confiscate hundreds of billions of dollars and reallocate those funds based on how they see fit. This is a serious issue that we have. And that's the reason why BRICS is so important. It's a decentralization, and I truly believe that it's for the best. So it's going to be a band-aid trying to stop countries from leaving the dollar and from abandoning the dollar. The dollar has lost most of its value. Think about it. We went from having $22 billion of debt before the Great Depression, or at the start of the Great Depression, to having over $35 trillion in debt. And this occurred in less than 100 years. In less than 100 years, we have substantially lost the value of our money has substantially declined. This is what, if you want to know where the hyperinflation came from, it came from paying for all of the things that people who did not want to work got. Now, don't get me wrong, the Great Depression was very tough, but a lot of these practices of public handouts continued after the Great Depression. Public assistance was the Great Depression and them giving out all of this free money. That was just a test run for giving out public assistance just a few decades later in the 60s, where they began going around in the African American communities and saying, we'll give you ladies all of this money, but you can't have a man in the house. And by the early 1970s, the African American community was devastated, and 4 out of 5 homes in the African American community were headed by an African American woman. All the men were gone, and we can see what the devastating effect has been decades later. This is some evil stuff that's happening in our society. And as I said, it's unless we have like a really hard reboot where all of the Marxists that have lodged themselves into our government are placed under arrest. The bankers have to be arrested. The heads of these investment firms have to be arrested. Like, they all have to be arrested, thrown in prison. When it comes to schools, at every level, there has to be a downright removal of individuals who are trying to manipulate and control us. That at the level of schools, all of these people that control the education system have to be fired. I mean, it would be an extraordinary cleansing, if you would call it that. Now, Elon Musk is good at these types of things, and if somehow by God, these people are such. I just don't know. I don't think TRUMP can win because of But if he does, I would want Elon there, and because Elon knows how to clean house. We saw what he did with Twitter, and he has the balls to do it. and we would need the education systems cleaned and scrubbed. All of these people would have to be fired. Many of these Marxist universities would have to be shut down. I mean, they would have to clean from top to bottom like spring cleaning. It would literally shock everyone around us. Like, what the heck? This is what's happening? They would have to shrink the federal government in size substantially. Many of these organizations would have to be closed down, that are, I don't want to say any of the specific ones, but some of like 3-letter law enforcement agencies and 3-letter institutions that may handle certain other things, they would have to all be shut down. And it would have to, I mean, guys, it would be extreme. There would be growing pains. And there would be a lot of resistance and resentment. Oh, look at what you're doing. There's going to be delays. And how are you messing with this? The boomers would be pissed off because a lot of those social programs that they enjoy, a lot of those entitlement programs that many of us don't even know about, that they've been, drinking, like literally reaping and seeping from, they would be gone. A lot of these programs that are exclusive to women, they would be gone. A lot of these programs that are exclusive to minorities, they would be gone. Like, it would have to be an extraordinary house cleaning, like never seen before. And it would change everything around us to a point that would shock people. For me personally, I realized that it's unlikely that this is going to happen, but if he does get back in, these are just some of the things that would have to occur. And for example, right now at BioWare, the way that they've been censoring, rigging reviews with, this level of, guys, all of these tech companies would have to be broken up. All of the major tech companies, there's no more if, ands, or buts about it. Basically, you would have to split, Microsoft would finally need to be split, I think, into a hardware company and a software company, and maybe even multiple other companies. Alphabet, there's already the framework for it. It's an entertainment company. It's a software company. It's a telecommunications company. So guys, they would all have to be broken up. Facebook broken up. All of Twitter is a good platform, and I could see there's a lot of growth for it. But all of these other tech companies would have to be broken up. They would no longer be allowed to have this, to maintain these things. A lot of the CEOs of these companies that spread these Marxist ideologies, like Mark Zuckerberg, and his censorship and knowing what he did, he would need to be placed in prison. Even if it's not for the rest of his life, he would need to be placed in prison. And, it's like him and like all of those people that were around there with Diddy. Like, let's be real. Diddy is a dangerous individual, but the good thing when it comes to Diddy is that he knows a lot of people. He's one of those EPSTEIN people. And he knows who was doing what. He's the diddler. We call him the diddler for a reason. So he knows he's alive still, supposedly, and he knows who these people are because they were there doing this garbage with him. So he needs to. So we can use Diddy to find out who they are, and give him a nice sweet deal, and then we can go after the ones that we want to. Because trust me, he was involved in all of this stuff and all of the money. Listen. It's not simply the celebrities that we want to go for. We want to go for the people who with the money. We want to go for the people in the investment firms. We want to go for the bankers. We have to go for the money. Don't forget about the celebrities. Go for the money. Follow the money, and then arrest every last one of them. Every last one of them. Put them in federal prison. Give them all life sentences. They will never see freedom ever again. Put them in maximum security prisons. I mean, treat them like the absolute worst, okay? Like, treat them as if they were El Chapo and then some. They are worse than El Chapo, okay? You need to lock them up and throw away the key. They will never see light again. They will never see freedom again. They need to be in supermax. Treat them like they are dangerous, the most dangerous criminals on the face of the earth, all right? Really, it's like they really need to be in those Russian prisons where it takes like they're 100 miles. It's like hundreds of miles in the middle of nowhere in the snowy side in like Siberia, and it's like there's no one there, and they're in these these miserable freezing cells, and When they come out, you're not even allowed to walk straight. Like, this is the type of people, like, these are dangerous people. These bankers, these investment firms, these are very, very dangerous people. So that's how you would have to deal with them. That's the only way. You would have to clean house. All of these Marxist people, the Gen Zers, and anyone else who's doing this crap and spreading this garbage, they would have to be taken into custody. You could not leave them on the streets. Because, listen to me, you'd have to clean them out of the universities, and then they would have to be dealt with. Like, listen, we lose our freedoms, everything. No, they have to be taken into custody. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, check out the Angry Guy Clubhouse. Inside, you'll get access to exclusive videos, top tier expat and passport bro travel tips, digital nomad guides, passive income strategies, pop culture and geek culture commentary, and hard-hitting manosphere content. Free subscribers have access to videos, podcasts, articles, and the community chat, plus receive the passive income blueprint and digital nomad blueprint just for joining. Paid subscribers unlock even more value, including exclusive guides like the How to Build an Online Business in 24-hour ebook, Wealth Building Blueprints, and crypto updates. Join us today by clicking the link in the description and take your journey to the next level.
And it makes them feel uncomfortable to the point of being like, can I even say anything about this? It's kind of weird that it's become so acceptable.
Yeah, right? Like, let me just not talk about putting my pee-pee in the poo-poo at the workplace. Let's create video games here, right? Like, that's why we're here. Oh man. Oh damn. Oh my bad, guys. I thought I was here to make video games. Okay, you're gonna talk about, like, hey, putting the pee-pee in poo-poo, doing this. What? Y'all suckers crazy? Where are the video games? Why y'all suckers so infatuated with the orientation, this and that, da-dee-da-da-da? Why can a brother just see you guys be normal? Can't make gaming normal again, man. Damn. Like the video if you agree, guys. Like the video if you agree. This is insane. This is ludicrous, man. I be looking like this right now. Damn! Shout out to Ice Cube, man. Like, this scene is from the movie called 21 Jump Street, bro. One of the best comedic, one of the best comedy movie, I would say, in the modern days. I mean, the movie came out like a decade ago, right? I don't think they would ever make a movie like that ever again, because the stuff that we had in that movie, I don't think they would do that. You know, so same goes with Dragon Age. Apparently in Dragon Age 2, they were actively calling out the woke stuff. People are comparing the old Dragon Age game versus new one, right? So in the older one, for context, in the older game, the devs are calling out the woke stuff, and in the new one they are becoming that. Bruh. So yeah, it is, you know, that statement, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. There's like a quote, something like that applies to this situation.
In the office hallways, water cooler talk, it's literally everywhere. He stated that men are excluded entirely from the conversations unless they identify
toxic masculinity, unless they identify as what? Wait, what?
And guys, I just want you to check this out very quickly, you know, regarding how men are being discriminated against and toxic masculinity. There's an article that just came out. It comes from The Focus, and it's men who are more masculine are putting their hearts and bodies at risk. Check this out. Are you a manly man, a picture of masculine health? Well, having what society perceives as an ideal male physique might not be very good for your health after all. Generally speaking, being strong is good for your physical health. Having weak muscles has been associated with greater overall mortality risk, but bulking up to a particular aesthetic, the stereotype of male gender expressivity, in this case, by for example, lifting solely heavy weights and ignoring cardiovascular health, may be detrimental, but in ways men don't often foresee. This is sick, guys. Men who bulk up in a particularly male way are at greater risk of cardiovascular disease. So basically, men who choose to look at and desire an aesthetic where their bodies are very fit and they look muscular and they want to look physically masculine, that is a very dangerous thing. So looking what is traditionally perceived as masculine is dangerous. This is the garbage they're spreading, guys. Pressure to look manly, there you go, to convey what a particular set of researchers call male gender identity, Jesus help us, comes from every angle: movies, magazines, social media, and and even members of the political class. Even if we don't agree with the idea itself, we can all agree that Western culture puts certain physiques on a pedestal. It idealizes them. This goes for women as well as men. The ideal male physique is muscular. It has definition. It has visible ab muscles and bulky pectorals, high cheekbones, broad shoulders, etc. Generally speaking, this image of gendered perfection is associated with good health. If you're toned and muscular, you're likely to be considered more healthy than someone who's with visible belly fat and poor muscle definition. But those who conveyed their male gender identity, particularly strongly as teenagers, were actually at greater risk from various heart disease and blood pressure related outcomes, according to an investigation by a group of scientists based predominantly in Illinois. So guys, check this out. If you are a masculine man, if you are muscular, you have low fat to muscle ratio, and you're actually less healthy than a person who's overweight and does not get a lot of exercise. And this is a dangerous practice that starts when men are teenagers, when men are boys, that they want to stay healthy and they want to be physically fit. So being physically fit is not a good thing. Being muscular is not a good thing. Having no belly fat is not a good thing. Having poor muscle, having good muscle definition is not a good thing. It is better to have poor muscle definition. It is better to have belly fat. It is better to be non-muscular and to basically be sedentary than it is to be active and physically fit and have a toned body. Guys, if this does not show you they are trying to destroy men, and this article was written by a guy named Bruno, we can scroll up and see that, let's show you, just so you guys can see that for yourself. Bruno Cook. This is what I tell you about the Sims, guys, that the Sims do not like us. The Sims are trying to destroy us, and many of these Sims are non-repentant. I have it in my comments. A lot of them refuse to repent. Those that are here now in the community, they're like, oh, well, I didn't know I was doing anything wrong, so I can't be guilty for having done it, so I'm not guilty and I will not repent. A man who will not repent is a man who will do it again. You cannot trust a non-repentant man. We will all fall short of the grace of God. But by acknowledging our sins and our failures and our past actions, we can at least move beyond them. And God will always forgive us. But in the case of these evil individuals, they see what they've done as they're like, well, it happened, but it wasn't my fault. Society lied to me, and that's it. They take no accountability, all right? Which means that they will always betray you. This is so sick, guys. This article is so sick. And they're calling it male gender identity. Isn't working out supposed to be good for you? Well, yes, and many forms of working out are. The issue in particular case appears to be the people who strive to have particularly manly figures during adolescence were less likely to appreciate their vulnerabilities. They disadvantage themselves by not getting checked for things like high blood pressure and diabetes, or not following through on treatment programs. They were less, guys. If you are a person who is going to the gym and you are physically fit, you are maintained to stay in that shape, you have to avoid certain kinds of foods. You have to stay, guys, this is such BS. Study participants who expressed their male gender identity, look at this, male gender identity more during adolescence were less likely to report hypertension. Oh my gosh. What? High blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, and diabetes treatment. They were less likely to be diagnosed with or treated for hypertension and diabetes. Yeah, because they're less likely to have them. The researchers therefore concluded that social cultural pressures to convey male gender to look super manly could be linked to worse heart health outcomes through decreased risk diagnosis and treatment. They're not even saying, well, the people who are in good and optimal shape are less likely to have this. If you are a healthy person, you are less likely to be diagnosed with heart disease. If you have a lower fat to muscle ratio, in other words, you have less fat than you do muscle, you are less, then you're going to be less likely to have these issues. You're going to be less likely to have heart disease and high blood pressure and hypertension. These are things commonly associated with people who are unhealthy, commonly associated with people who have large amounts of belly fat, commonly associated with people who have sedentary lifestyles. Guys, they are trying to destroy us. This society despises us. It wants us gone. It wants to ruin us, and it's unbelievable. Oh my goodness. The researchers therefore concluded that social cultural pressures to convey male gender to look super manly could be linked to worse heart health outcome through decreased risk diagnosis and treatment. As a result, they add that these groups may bear distinctive risk and would benefit from better public health efforts to prevent adolescents from growing into adults who develop cardiovascular disease. This is such an evil article, guys. They want to destroy boys. Holy cow. And we can look at some of the comments here. User says they don't know what they are talking about or exactly who fits into your categories. Quit listening to opinions as if it were facts. Ray says, better than giving these people my mind and soul. Yeah, guys, this is such a level of insanity. Such an absolute level of insanity that we are witnessing. They are trying to destroy men, because like I said, if you want to destroy a country, destroy the men. If you want to destroy the men, use the women to destroy the men. A country without its men is not a country. A country without its men is a wasteland. And that is what they want to turn Western society into.
Everywhere. He stated that men are excluded entirely from the conversations unless they identify as some sort of non-traditional gender or orientation. And at BioWare, as I was told from him, they're only interested in hiring people they can control within the company. They want what they can be considered a cultist, because only the people that parrot and embrace the exact same ideologies are the people they can trust there. It's like creepy, the things he was telling me, and how the day-to-day work life is not even a job at a company or a game company. Around the water cooler, like, don't drink the Kool-Aid over there, because you don't know how bad it's going to be. Have a thought on a different direction you want to go with the game, or what you think could work better? You want to question any female voices at the company, or step out of the proverbial lines that have been drawn? You are on your way out. And it reminds me, oddly specifically, about the insider that reached out to me from Firewalk Studios and the environment that was going on there, where anybody who is a straight white male, or not even white, if you're black too, if you're straight...
Whoa! Stop! Stop right there! Stop right there! Stop right there. Stop right there. Man, these suckers crazy, bro. These suckers crazy, man.
And you don't agree directly with all these cult mentalities, you are on the way out, and you're going to be somebody blackballed in the entire game industry. Because
what does blackball means? I know blue balled, okay, you don't want to get blue balled. But what does blackballing means? Let me know. Any scientists here in the chat? I just want to know, right? Like, what does that mean? I want to know.
Because it has run amok throughout. So much for that diversity thing, right? The atmosphere at BioWare...
That's the thing, right? They are so... listen, man, like, I would say, generally speaking, people are for diversity. Hear me out. I'm not talking about the forced diversity and the crap that they're doing in the name of diversity. That's not what I'm talking about. But the general diversity is actually a good thing, right? We all are different, okay? We all are, come from different places, from like, not like that, but you know what I mean, right? Diversity is good when it's organic. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if Assassin's Creed Shadows of the BBC, that game is set in feudal Japan, so it should have had a Japanese male protagonist. It should have been like accurate, and they should have respected the culture, but they did not. They used a black man, and they used black men as a shield and made him gay and all that. So they were being racist, of course, being racist towards Asian people, but not just the Asian people. They were being actively racist towards black people as well. We talked about it a million times already, and yes, right. So they done that. That is like the bad kind of diversity. The good diversity would have been, hey, the game is set in Japan, therefore, it's solid, and you got Japanese people in the game, you got the Japanese male protagonist, boom, That's your diversity done right. Okay, but the stuff that they're doing, they're excluding men. Okay, if you're white, we're gonna be racist towards you. If you're black, hey, you cannot be straight. If you're a black man or black woman, no, you guys cannot be straight.
This is some evil stuff, y'all. Some very, very evil stuff. For example, I mean, if you look at this right here on the screen, I cheated on my husband, and now he HATEs all women. There is another misogynist in the world because I cheated on my husband. And basically what she's doing is dodging accountability. Men must be taught that even if women cheat on them, they are not allowed to have negative feelings as a result of that. Men are being man babies, and it's not fair to take all of your anger out or to view women negatively, because if women do bad things to you, if a woman cheats on you, an emotionally healthy person simply understands the situation. They understand that there were things that you did that led to her cheating, and maybe if you change those behaviors, then, you know, maybe it would not have happened. This is, guys, I'm telling you, this is the reason why people come looking for Uncle Angry after they have their lives destroyed, after they have their lives ruined. They come looking for Uncle Angry, and they're like, Uncle Angry, this happened to me. Yeah, well, you didn't listen to what I told you. There was a simp in my comments who basically said his father had warned him, don't get involved with, don't be a simp, do not get involved, do not marry the woman he did. He didn't listen. And, you know, it ended up creating a lot of problems for him. Luckily, he didn't lose anything. But the crazy thing is that this simp will not repent. Despite everything, he's like, I learned from it, and I've moved on. Hence, I don't need to repent. And he says that he was a simp enforcer. So he used to enforce simp ideologies, and yet he still will not repent. You have to be careful with these men. This is why I say you have to go after the Sims. Stop arguing with women. Stop getting into fights and spats with women. Go after the Sims. They are the source of all of this. These little weasels need to be brought to justice. They are weasels. They are evil. They are part of they are agents of the wicked one, of the evil one.
You need to be something, okay? Either you need to be fat. No disrespect to my stud donuts out there. Hey, like, listen, I love everybody in real life, okay? This is real life too. But what I'm trying to say here is that the stuff that they are doing is just insanely racist, disrespectful, and it's like, what are these suckers doing? These suckers, if you're black, whether you're a man or female, yeah, you need to not be straight, essentially. There needs to be a catch with you being black. These suckers are hella racist. If you're Asian, yeah, man, you guys you guys can go pound sand. To them, brown people like me don't even exist, right? You feel what I'm saying? Like, to them, brown people don't even exist. And if you're a female, and if you're a straight female, yeah, bro, that's a problem too. So these suckers are also sexist towards females as well. They don't want females. They want dressed up females, essentially. They don't want the real females. Yeah, if you're a female, nah, bro, oh hell no. So these suckers are hella sexist, racist. They don't like black people. They think brown people don't exist. Yeah, white people, we're gonna actively, openly call them out. It's like, bro, who y'all suckers like? Who y'all suckers like, man? Like, what the hell is going on? What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with y'all? Like, damn, you suckers crazy. In the name of diversity, this is what y'all be doing? Shit, man.
He continued, had grown more extreme since Corinne Bush took the directional helm for Dragon Age the Veilguard. And according
in French, right? George Bush, Fanta Bush. You know, that was, I'm in Montreal, so we do speak French. I went to a French school, so like, yeah, and I apologize on the behalf of Sweet Baby Inc. and Ubisoft guys. Yes, they are also in Montreal. Oh, shit. I apologize. They're never gonna apologize, so I apologize on their behalf, okay? You listen to me right now. I apologize on their behalf, okay? I apologize on their behalf, guys. This suck is crazy, okay? But yes, here there was like a metaphor, or not necessarily a metaphor, but like a joke, right? George Bush, Femta Bush, which means, hey, George Bush, shut your mouth. That was a thing that, you know, kids used to say in school and classes, and yeah, yeah, so that memory got triggered, you know?
to my source, Bush's leadership marked a huge change in the atmosphere at BioWare, giving preference to anyone who identified as gender non-conforming, and it even intensified the focus further on ideological adherence over merit and talent. The shift was, according to him, deteriorating the studio's environment and completely eroding.
So, is that the brother that became a sister? Damn, shit.
Forming. And it even intensified the focus further on ideological adherence over merit and talent. The shift was
hard to say. So yeah, so this is a brother. and became a sister. Technology advancing though. Technology is advancing. I would say, like, you know. So he changed the glasses as well. He changed the glasses to get more of like you know, feminine glasses. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. Live your life, boo.
Was, according to him, deteriorating the studio's environment and completely eroding BioWare's once pristine.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's the same person or not. Like, I'm not sure, because with females, it's like very hard to say if it's the same female or not, because every day, like, they use like different kind of makeup, different kind of looks, so it becomes harder to know whether it's like the same female or not. If any females watching this video, you're probably gonna agree with this, right? Because first you might be like, another day, you're like that, and then you know, and technology is advancing so much, I don't even know like who's who anymore, right? So it's hard to know like who's who, right? So
his reputation in the industry, one that he has been a part of for years. So it's not somebody that just got hired off the street, just starting first day on the job, never worked in the game industry before, and doesn't know what he's doing. No, this guy has experienced the game industry
allegedly
for a long time, and he's been at BioWare for over 4 years, according to him, and he's seen it go straight downhill.
So BioWare is an absolute cesspool right now. The things that are happening in the company are downright despicable. This is 100% the death of the gaming industry. And so many companies are going down this path because they have these DEI people that are now in every aspect of the company. You know, Sony is claiming that they did not know anything, or insiders are saying that Sony did not know that Ghost of Yotai had been turned into Ghost of Yotai. It was originally supposed to be a sequel to Jin's story. It was supposed to continue on Jin's story from Ghost of Tsushima, and they took Ghost of Tsushima's 2's engine and they just scrapped it all and they turned it into Ghost of Yotai and focused around a non-binary actress. And this is really crazy stuff. And this is supposed to be in the 1600s. There's no real joy in the game. There's real connection to humanity. Guys, and I'll say, like, a lot, even like in Ghost of Tsushima, some of the characters, especially the female models, are just not very attractive. Like, the nose designs are horrible. Like, if you're going to be looking at character designs for a long period of time, they should be attractive. It's just really sickening what they have done and what they have created. It's mind-bending. You know, these games are being made by people who do not like us, by people who absolutely despise us. We want games like Black Myth Wukong. There's a new game coming like Wu Chang, and it stars a female. She's absolutely gorgeous. Character models are gorgeous. The enemies are gorgeous. The female enemies are gorgeous. Everything is beautiful about the game, and we're looking forward to it because, like, these Eastern development studios are not messing around. They're not playing games with these. They're not playing games when it comes to titles that are, you know, that are based on, like, you know, that include like Marxism and these ideologies. They're basically pushing these things out and saying that we won't tolerate it. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm beyond sick of it. I'm beyond sick of what's happened, but it's not going to stop. Even if these companies wanted to reverse course right now, it would take years to do this because the games that they have in production are all trash. They're all trash. They all have these ideologies in them that and it's been like that for a long time. So it would take years, if not a decade, to cleanse this stuff from the industry. It cannot happen overnight because they've invested so much into it and they've taken so much BlackRock money and money from similar companies to promote diversity, equity, and inclusion, that these are the outcomes. Many of you are saying that, you know, it doesn't make any difference. They'll just write off all of this as a tax loss. I don't believe so, because a number of companies are shutting down. Ubisoft took a ton of that investment money, and now they're in a dire financial strait because they're not getting any more. The companies that gave them this money, they're not investing any more into them. They're not handing them any more free money. Ubisoft may end up going bankrupt. That's the direction that it's on right now. They're out of money. BioWare is set to lose maybe about $500 million on this game. Some people are like, oh, it's only like 100 guys. Even, you know, Asmon said that, you know, it's more likely, it's like a normal development cost for this type of game is $250 million. Everything costs more these days. It took 10 years. And the fact is that they had multiple revisions. They had to go through multiple reboots to get this game just out the door. They had to use many contractors. This game likely cost between 400 and 500 million dollars, just like Concord did, and it's going to cost BioWare a ton of money. EA, of course, is just going to wipe it under the rug because they're printing money still from their other franchises. But the fact that if this company is costing them $500,000 or $1 billion, like, trust me when I say Mass Effect is going to be crap. You know, I just picked up the trilogy of the original. I didn't mess with Andromeda, and that's pretty much it. Like, they have a remastered version. I picked up the trilogy on Steam. I would have preferred it on GOG, but it wasn't there. But it was only like $10. If things are like not $10, I'm not buying them on Steam anymore. I just treat them in long-term rentals. But this is literally 100% an effort to destroy masculinity and destroy the male identity because they do not like us.
He went on to describe BioWare being a corpse being worn by EA yes men and filled with cult-like pandering weirdos. It wasn't anything like he had signed on for all those years ago. He even shared a personal story about how he was called into HR to discuss a situation that a female coworker at the office complained about him and said he made her feel uncomfortable in order to ensure her job was safe and, more importantly, holding him down below her, even though, according to him, he did nothing wrong at all. In a weird way, it could be described as a modern form of corporate slavery. Like, I even asked him that. I was like, this kind of feels like slavery in a way, where all these masters at the office are making sure that you are in line, in your place, and you're not allowed to say anything that steps out of line because you will be excommunicated from the cult and, like I said, blackballed out of the entire industry.
And I've basically said this countless times that these men are stupid to stick around. It is foolish for them to stay where they are not appreciated, stay where they are not celebrated, and they will go to great lengths to fall in line and adhere to this stupidity just to keep these stupid jobs. If you're working at a company that is doing great evil, they're treating you poorly, you have enough common sense and reasoning to see this, why won't you leave? And these people will just sit there and they'll look at me with these sad faces like, you don't understand. Okay, so stay there, bro. I'm suffering. Okay, then we'll leave. You don't understand. In other words, you don't want to sacrifice. You want to keep on holding on to the job. Maybe they're paying you decently well. You like the idea of working in the industry. You've been at the company for many years and you don't want change. You don't want to suffer. You don't want to struggle. So you're suffering there, but you would rather keep suffering there than having to go out into the world and starting over. You don't want to have to go and start your own gaming studio. You don't want to have to reduce your lifestyle. You don't want to basically surrender anything. So many of these guys are making $200,000 a year and they have no savings and no income. The idea of having $100,000 in the bank is an absolute joke. $100,000 in the bank, they don't have crap in the bank. They have no real money in the bank, because everything is going into paying for rent and maintaining a lifestyle that they cannot afford. And then when they're flat broke and they're living in their cars, or they're living in shelters, or they're living in the streets, or living in the woods, that's when they come to Uncle Angry crying about what they experienced. And they want Uncle Angry to hug them and rub their heads and like, oh, they're little simp. I understand, it's not your fault. Okay. It's the mean old Marxists that did this. You didn't have anything to do with it. It's the state. It's the federal corporation. It's these people. All right. You didn't know any better. That's right. I didn't know any better. I was just a victim in all of this. Guys, bro, these people are. The world has never been kind to men. The world will never be kind to men. The world despises men. Society wants to destroy us. Society wants us weak. Society wants us lazy, fat, stupid, just capable enough to keep things going, but not capable of actually questioning how badly we are being screwed. This is the devil running wild. This is the Jezebel spirit, literally being there and doing what it wants. We have to be mindful of this, guys, okay? Because it's out to get us. It's out to destroy us. The idiots will come to the comments and say that you're just basically coming up with nonsense, Angry. You're not speaking the truth. You're deceiving these men. These men need to to get in touch with their feminine sides. They need to let go of this toxic masculinity and these ideals. They'll begin spouting all kinds of nonsense, and they'll diatribes of garbage. And then by the time you're done reading it, you're exhausted. You're like, oh, okay, sure. Because you guys, it's literal nonsense. absolute nonsense these people will spout. The Sims do not like you. Sims are, guys, stop arguing with women. Stop trying to get into fights with women. Stop doing it. Focus on the wicked, vindictive simp. The simp is an evil creature. The simp wants to destroy us. The simp has destroyed us, and they will never stop. Okay, put them out of your lives. When I see these simps who refuse to repent, oh, I learned my lesson. Do you repent? No, I do not, because I didn't know any better. Okay, so you take no accountability for anything that you've done. Oh, gone. You're banned. You're blocked. Never return. Do not speak to me ever again. Mayubi has been going on about this one simp who apologized in Japanese, but then she claims that he is not genuine. Then he basically goes on to say something like, "Oh, I haven't used my Japanese in a while or a long time." Her response, of course, is that he never that you do not forget. All right, you do not forget how to properly apologize in Japanese, and so he's basically a snake. Okay, you have to be very, very careful with these people. My thought was like, does this guy even speak Japanese? Maybe he used Google Translate and was just trying to flex a little. But on the other hand, you really don't know. All right, they're basically speaking two different languages. They want you to believe that they are apologizing for what they for one thing, but they really don't. These people are not repentant. They're really just, they see the writing on the wall, and some of them are trying to hide behind men now, when the reality is they were never a part of us. They were never one of us. It's like, we call them traitors, but they were never for us. They acted like, you assume that they're men, so they have, the interest of men at heart. That's not it. They always wanted to destroy us. They always hated the male identity. Look at the garbage I showed you earlier, written by this jerk named Bruno, saying that, the male identity is bad, and it's like, and it starts and during our adolescent years, and trying to be fit and not have fat belly, not have body fat, and not have large bellies. And I'm not saying anything poor about people who choose to be overweight, but what I'm saying is that it's not a healthy lifestyle. They're saying that if you want to be slim, if you want muscle definition, this actually puts you at greater risk of cardiovascular disease, because you are less likely to be diagnosed for these conditions. You're less likely to be diagnosed for these conditions because you're healthy. Guys, they're trying to destroy us. The simp is wicked. The simp is evil. Do not trust these devils.
To which he said,
hey, whoa, but what does that mean? I'm getting a little bit of the context though, but I still don't know what that means exactly.
yeah, that's actually a perfect way to explain it. He went on to tell me that the person that complained about him was a female employee that was clearly...
okay, does blackball... is blackball similar to friendly BBC online something? That Call of Duty, yeah, let me show you guys this, okay? Yeah, that friendly BBC, does that, is it similar? I don't know, man, I don't know. Because yeah, Call of Duty added that skin in the game, right?
A perfect way to explain it. He went on to tell me that the person that complained about him was a female employee that was clearly, visibly, mentally unhinged and would claim anything to get ahead. And he couldn't say anything about it because he knew that road only went one way. Sounds like a really great work environment for people. I mean, I guess it's fine if you're like a hardcore liberal LGBTQ woman and that's your environment. I'm sure it's great for you, but anybody that's like, not that? It sounds like hell. The Insider noted that under the structure currently, BioWare's latest release, Dragon Age: The Veilguard, serves less like an immersive RPG experience and more like a propaganda piece.
I've made this very clear, and I've said this numerous times, that when it comes to Dragon Age Veilguard, they are suppressing negative reviews on Steam. It is absolutely insane what we are witnessing right now. I mean, I just want you to look at this crap. It says mostly positive out of 6,679 reviews. And people are like, oh, well, Steam can remove whatever reviews they want to. That's their choice. If it's spam, well, check this out. So look at this. Almost every review, almost every recent review is positive. In the past, and they've been doing this ever since the game came out, shortly after it came out. Look at this. Positive, 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 right? And then you have some negatives at the end. But if you go to browse all 7,124 reviews, and this has been like this since it came out, you click on that, you can see, oh, look, two negatives. Let's keep on scrolling. Oh, downvote, all right? More negatives, okay? More dislikes, like nothing, just, guys, almost eternally dislikes. This game is so disliked. It is one of the most hated games ever made. Look at this. Just constant streams of dislikes. And to say that Valve is not suppressing This information is a joke, all right? Mostly positive. It, guys, at best, it should say mixed, which is what it said before. But now it's, guys, look at this. Just steady streams of just dislikes, dislikes, dislikes. This is one of the most hated games ever made, all right? The media is lying to us. They are censoring these reviews. We know that they banned Asmon Gold from even, or anyone who even is a part of his community on Reddit from commenting in the Dragon Age Reddit. These shills are terrible, all right? Do not trust any of these platforms. Do not trust Steam. They are not your friends. Buy your games on GOG. Download your games, own your games, because this is absolutely horrible. The media is lying to us. The media does not like us. These companies are shills. These companies are putting out products that no one actually wants. Just look at this. Just nothing but steady streams of dislikes, handful of likes, and just steady streams of dislikes. And oh yeah, but it's mostly positive, right?
Aligning with the ideology of the company's leadership. Corinne Bush is a transsexual man that...
Okay, so now that's the same guy. That's the same person. Okay, so brother became so brother became a sister. Any sister watching the video? Let me know. Okay, so yeah, same person. Got it. Yeah, live your life, boo boo. Live your life. Also, real quick, guys, before I forget, shout out to the homie, the bread, the train, the online enemy, friendly online enemy inbound, or something crazy. Now, shout out to you, Crazy, for following over on the Instagram. If you guys do use Instagram, I would definitely love to have you there. Links are always in the pinned comment. All right, let's get back to the content here, boo boo.
That claims to now be a woman. And now, because of that, they want to inject that and see themselves in everything they work on. And all the videos that have been releasing and Veilguard showing everyone exactly what it's all about pretty much exposes the agenda with all of it.
She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud. Oh, Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
He went on to talk about how they didn't care to make the game fun anymore. They rewrote it over and over again, changing the script, redoing the work he had to do over and over again, every time, getting worse and worse from his perspective. But he put up with it because he was already so in deep with the project that it was kind of like, hey, I'm still getting a paycheck. I can still keep doing this while I keep my options open elsewhere. And there's kind of a level of feeling like you're a part of something. You put so much work into it.
You see, guys, and that's how they control you, with that paycheck. All right? Oh, I'm part of something. Guys, it doesn't matter how evil something is, no matter how much common sense you have. Okay? Oh, I'm still getting a paycheck, so I'll just allow it. I'll just go along with it. Until, until everything is destroyed for you, you're going to go along with it and keep it as is because you are still getting a paycheck. Do you see how cheap these people are? They allowed this evil to occur. They were a part of this evil. And now that it's so rampant, they're like, I don't like it anymore. I don't want this to happen anymore. I'm miserable. Oh, I'm so miserable. Yeah, little bro. All right, you brought this onto yourself.
So much years and so much time to just up and quit and leave is kind of hard to do. So I can totally understand where he's coming from for his perspective to just be like, yeah, I'll put up with this for a little bit longer, but I can't wait to get the hell out of here because this environment is horrific. Dragon Age the Veilguard is...
Sister glowing right now. Sister glowing. Go queen. Game director. Corinne. Strong independent. Strong independent. Okay, alright. Go live your life, boo boo.
For all intents and purposes, genuine propaganda. It's not even a game at this point. It's on the same level as Dustborn, which is crazy because many people thought that the game of Dustborn was just an aberration. But no, it looks like in 2024, games like this becoming propaganda are becoming a trend more than something that's a...
This is that clip that I was talking about, right? Misgendering, and after that going ahead and doing push-ups. And I've been reading your guys' comments and you guys were saying like these are cheat push-ups. Let's see. Some people were saying that she didn't even do 10 push-ups. So.
One-off. These issues may be affecting BioWare's stability, and he mentioned that there's a growing talk within the company of incoming cutbacks. No one feels comfortable right now, and the entire company is a house of cards. After nearly 10 years in development...
Okay, seems like that she did 6 push-ups, though. Yeah. What about the rest of it? Like, I thought you were supposed to be strong, independent.
Scrapping Dragon Age Dreadwolf and starting over multiple times, EA is going to have to make some tough decisions moving forward. According to my source, these are all tied to the mismanagement of the excessive focus on hiring practices that prioritize ideological alignment over skill, completely draining BioWare of its ability to sustain any meaningful creative output.
Go woke, go broke. I mean, this is just the continuous outcome. I know many of you have no faith that anything can get better, but the double A market is basically the new triple A. And as more people say, fine, we're just going to walk away, we'll work with companies and studios that have values. Guys, a game like Black Myth Wukong could be developed, to be very clear, by a small gaming studio with the technology that we have available today in Western society. We do not need these giant teams anymore. A lot of aspects can be shifted through artistic design. You don't have to have, these breathtaking cutscenes either. A lot of it can be done using storybooking, using like a storybook structure that adds even more interest to it. Kind of like what Nintendo has done. You do not need to go for all of this photorealistic garbage. Many of us are sick of all of these photorealistic garbage things that they are doing. Many companies back in the day had to find ways to compensate for a lack of budget, and then they found new ways to be innovative, and then a lot of these things ended up sticking around. That's what we need more of right now. It's not about throwing money at the problem. It's about thinking your way through the problem and then finding a way to move forward. And sometimes you end up developing something you never would have thought of had you not gone down that path. These studios are now putting out garbage because they have way too much money and they're throwing it in their budget in the wrong places and giving it to people who don't even know what the heck they're doing, where everything is based around ideologies instead of actually merit, and putting out something that the consumer wants. What do you guys think regarding this? These are very serious allegations that men are being 100% discriminated in these companies. I do think that BioWare may end up getting closed down, but, hopefully sooner than later. They say they're moving towards working on Mass Effect right now. There's some of you idiots who are like, don't blame the developer. BioWare, don't blame the developers at BioWare. They're not the ones responsible for this. It's EA. EA is responsible, and the investment companies, the BioWare have no choice but to make this garbage. Guys, the culture at this company is trash. They could watch a video like mine and completely just completely ignore everything that they heard right now. Or they'll turn around and say, well, I didn't know everything. I didn't know this at that point. So you can't blame me for not what I didn't know. Dude, you were there attacking me and saying that this is not the case and speaking definitively. And now you have the information. You're like, well, it's not my fault. I didn't know these things. So why were you saying that stuff before, you jerk? That's why I said you have to stay away from these evil Sims, because they are responsible, guys. We need to start going after the Sims. We need to start focusing on the Sims, not putting up with the crap with the Sims, pushing them out of our spaces, saying, no, we're not going to tolerate you anymore. Oh, you're a simp? Goodbye. You are the weakest link. All right? Call them out. Sims are guys, Sims, they have very fragile egos too, okay? Because they have feminine energy. Do not listen to these individuals. But guys, these are not masculine men. These are dangerous, predatory individuals. They do not like us and they want to destroy us. So we have to be there, because the simp is a wicked, vindictive sleazeball. That's what the simp is. Don't trust these things. What do you guys think about these allegations? Do you think BioWare is going to even make it to Mass Effect 2, which is not coming for years? Or do you think that, or do you agree with me that that BioWare will shut down before then, or at least numerous studios in BioWare will be closed down? And the team that developed this garbage, I mean, right now they've said that they're focusing, the entire studio in BioWare is now focusing on the next Mass Effect. But I definitely think that at least some teams that have been worked on this garbage will be shut down, if not the entirety of BioWare. Because if you lose $500 million, and the investment firm is not going to bring more money. They're like, okay, well, you just lost $500 million. Here's some more money. Yeah, I don't think so. And EA is going to have to report this at the next quarterly meeting. They're going to have to report how the game is performing, how much money they've made off it, or how much money they've lost. So they're going to have to report any massive losses that they're taking, because they own BioWare now. And of course, while it's a drop in the bucket for them, $500 million in losses is a massive amount of money. We're seeing how it's affecting Sony with prices. You have the deluxe version for these games now that are $79. No, not even $79, $89 or over $100, and you don't even know what the difference is between the two. So a lot of the time, so basically you end up purchasing the deluxe version because You don't want to lose out on, you don't want to miss out on the experience of the game, because there may be very important things that that are put behind a paywall. All the bonus things that you used to get, like extra costumes and stuff, you now have to purchase those individually or pay $100 more for that stuff in the deluxe version. It's and levels, or, oh, do you want to see what the final ending of the game actually is like? This is the garbage that you get. You don't get one version of the game that has everything in it anymore. You get all of these versions you get all of these versions. It's sick. It's absolutely sick. I just have to shake my head. I really, really just have to shake my head when I see what's happening here. And it's not going to stop, guys. These companies we need to stop supporting them. Do not give them your money. Walk away from them. Let these companies die off and go to hell, all right? Because they are horrible. They do not like us. They want to destroy us. They are vindictive. They are predatory. They are absolutely evil. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video, and just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Men walking away, and cheers.